get away, dog. Lily, get down. I'll get her in a minute. Okay. Thank you very much for coming to this channel. And I want to talk about asking God questions. You know, because a lot of people, they're thinking things in their heart, but they're not game enough to ask God, you know. And I always ask God. And I get answers. Now cut it out. Okay. And I did a video before, and I did a lot of and I thought that's just too hard for you to listen through. So I wrote it down, and I'm reading from it, and hopefully you will ask God questions, okay? So here it goes. I heard a prophecy many years ago that in the 1,000 years of peace, when Jesus reigns on earth, there will be only one church. There won't be many denominations at all. There'll be only one church. Okay. I heard from God that He is raising up a church, that the teachers and preachers won't necessarily have degrees or letters behind next to their name, okay? But only prophets and seers and singers will be allowed to preach in the churches, on the pulpit. Only preachers, only prophets, seers, and singers. Okay, and then what it says here. Okay. You therefore will only hear God's voice, not man's interpretation. Okay, because be straight from God. And because in many cases, many people will misinterpret the Bible. They're doing that, right? All through the centuries. And plenty use the Bible for their own ends, okay? Which we know. And not in the least bit interested in what God is really saying in the pages of His holy book. I was surprised to hear singers were allowed to preach. I didn't ask God why, but is it because when they sing praises to God with a pure heart, they will be so close to God, okay, where we are, so close to God, that they will know His will. I don't really know. And then I stopped and I said, right, God, I'll ask Him. And God just told me it is because He leads them in the Spirit of God as they worship Him and become my vessels too, and speak only what they hear the Spirit is saying. Okay? And I'm noticing a shift in playing out in the churches, which I'm sure you are too. Because more and more Christians are beginning to be gifted in the supernatural, right? More and more people are getting taught by His Spirit, okay? And finding out what the Spirit is saying is not necessarily agreeing with everything your preachers say. Your preachers might be true lovers of God, simply teaching you what man has taught them, okay? I have been a Presbyterian and then a Catholic, okay? And I see both churches have their fair good and bad, right? Because some of them are too busy hanging on to what man says and tradition, and fail to see that not all of it is pleasing to God, okay? I encourage you mightily to ask God questions, especially if you feel a check in your spirit, and do some research work as well. Don't be lazy, because we are, aren't we? We got to get ourselves motivated. It can make all the difference in your relationship with God. God has told me at least twice He loves me asking questions. Okay? And once said He loves my inquiring mind. I'm always asking questions ever since I was a little baby. I kept asking all the time. Why? I can't help myself. Okay. And yeah, don't be shy about it. Keep asking. He talks to people in so many ways, and sometimes you have to keep asking. It is sometimes feels like you're hounding Him. I believe why He makes you wait sometimes is a test to see how much you want to know. And if you pass the test, you get spiritually promoted. Little bit by little, but you're growing all the time in His Spirit. So don't worry if He makes you persist in asking. He is increasing your hunger to know him, and he loves you to hound him. He doesn't get tired of being hounded if it is holy reasons, like if you're hounding me for something that he doesn't want you to have or do, well then that's annoying, because you're asking something outside of his will, right? He wants you to know his spirit. He wants you to know the truth, okay? So you can hound him all the time, but hound him with faith that he will answer you. Okay, I believe it is something like this. I have a much younger sister, and when she was little, learning to walk and walking towards me, I found myself instantly walking backwards so that she had to walk even further. And I believe that's what God does. He makes us walk even more and more and more, so we can be strengthened in our hunger and our faith in God. Okay, I've got a page in Facebook, and it's called Author Sue Darling, okay? And I would like you to look into it, and there's articles that I've written first time, right? I didn't do videos, even though God told me that one day I will be doing it, but at that time I had a very bad social phobias and I was going through a lot. So I just wrote down what I heard and what I learned, and I did get, because God puts it in your heart, and I got annoyed. I kept saying to God, I'm tired of preaching to my invisible friends, in other words, preaching to daydreamers, because I wanted to preach to someone face to face, because God's put it in my heart. I have to preach. I can't help it. I've got to. And I know he's put things into your heart, and you just want it because it's so strong in you. It's because you're called to do it. And just keep praying, and one day he will make it happen. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it's helped you, and I hope you will press the like button and the share button, and also the subscribe. Thank you very much, and God bless you all, and may you prosper in his spirit.